schools had the chance to either submit their payment, the payroll deductions, through a transfer, or they could actually send a paper check. And some of the districts that have sent, or a particular district I talked to, had sent a paper check. It had not been received by WageWorks yet, and so there was quite a bit of time between when it was mailed from the district until the time it was to be received with WageWorks. So employees had not gotten their money in their accounts yet. So that was one complaint that I heard of. And then another district that I heard from, that they had not gotten the money in the accounts yet. And I do not know if that was the payroll deductions were sent by paper check from the district to WageWorks, or there were an electronic transfer.
But what I hear you saying, Ms. Harrison, is you know about those problems, and we're getting pretty close to getting those resolved. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. We are working diligently to correct those problems.
Okay. Tell you what I'd like to do. I'm going to talk to the co-chair, because I know Senator Hendren did a lot of work on this, and also Senator Cheatham continues to give some oversight. I'd like to have some discussions with them, but may want to reserve the right to go into the past and look at the contracts themselves and the RFP process of the contracts, and just do some exploring. But also, Ms. Harrison would like to put out this public statement that we know that you are in an interim position and that you walked into something, and we appreciate you being here today. And thanks for the thoroughness of the answer and for pushing hard to get all this resolved. One last question. Are you fully staffed in EPD right now, or what is your staffing levels where you are right now today?
I believe we have 8 positions that are submitted to OPM for hiring freeze approval, and we've not received any approval.
Okay. All right. Any questions? None on the board? Thank you. Did you push the button? All right, Senator Chesterfield.
Thank you. One of my concerns is the response of OPM. When did you make your report? Well, they've been made at different times. The longest one was submitted in October. The others have been submitted in November, December, and you not had a response. No. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
We'll be back in on the 25th. I'd like to respectfully talk to the other 2 senators that are involved in this and just have a conversation with them, but we'll visit with you before that. Thanks for being here. We'll take a look at the OPM issue also. All right? Thank you very much for being here. And with that, we're down to agenda item F, and Senator Clark.
Okay, good to be here. We didn't meet in January. Because in January we were trying to get funding. I want to thank leadership and all of those others who helped us in that. I'm told by those that have been here a long time. The first time the committee's ever had a problem. Let those who were against that remain anonymous. But I want to compliment the committee on the good work that you've done. The subject that we were just on, where we spent $125 million, and it appears got very little for it. And you were very much responsible for bringing that into the public light, both you and non-members who were here. And have dug into some other issues much deeper than anyone has ever been able to before. So I think it's recognized by you and many others that we're doing some very important work. So like I said, it's good to be here. As a result of the conversations about our funding, we've made some changes. One has been that it was requested that maybe we might be able to save some money by having all-day meetings. So that's why the all-day meeting. Hopefully be a good thing. It has been suggested, it was suggested also that maybe non-JPR members not be reimbursed for attending. We resisted that because the issues we've been looking into, a lot of great questions that came on these other issues came from non-members. These are things that every legislator is interested in, and we are glad to have them here and glad to have them participate if they're not a member. And there's not anyone wide berth that we've given legislators to get the answers that they're seeking. We, as chairs, will reluctantly rein you in more in deference to that, and we will also definitely rein in witnesses who are giving it a 10-minute answer when 2 minutes would suffice. I just want to say that up front. I don't appear to be rude, and I'll just say what other legislators will never say. That problem will occur more from people who work at some of these agencies, sometimes during the session, and other times we feel like we get much longer answers than we need because that keeps us from asking a lot more questions. So again, don't want to be rude, but we may shorten some of those answers so that we can continue to get on with our work. That being said, we'd like to ask Brian Welch, Director of Parent Council Program, to come forward. Our subject has been policy and problems with child maltreatment and negligent cases, ECFS and CACD, as they relate to every area. And actually, when we started in July, we wanted to get many of these groups. We got attorneys at law and CASA also on the agenda to share with us how this process works, what they can tell us about that, and also anything that they can tell us of the problems and possible solutions. So there's a handout that you have, Exhibit F1, and Mr. Welch, if you will identify yourself and your position.
My name is Brian Welch, I'm Director of the Arkansas Parent Council Program.
Raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I did provide a brief overview of the program that I oversee. This gives a very quick snapshot of kind of what we do and where we're doing it, how many people I have doing it. I will say that I've been in this position for approximately 2.5 years now. When I took over this program, some of these things were a little different. At the time I took over, there were only 51 parent council attorney on staff to handle approximately 2,100 cases across the state. As you can see, in fiscal year 15, the average caseload we're carrying increased up to 2,700, and that continues to climb. Currently have 64 attorneys under contract all across the state. They are currently paid $855 per case. Our cases range anywhere from a couple of months to numerous years, but that $855 is all we should pay, no matter how long it lasts. We represent parents or custodians that have actually had a child removed from their custody, and the court finds them indigent. All three of those pieces have to be in place. The parent has to request our representation as well. As you can see from the key responsibilities, we follow Administrative Order 15 as far as our requirements for representing these clients. We have client-driven representation, meaning the client tells us what they want to fight for, and we, to the best of our ability, with the facts we have in hand, make that argument. Obviously, our first concern is reunification of the child into the home, if possible. If not, if the court rules against that at any of the early stages of the proceeding, our representation shifts a little bit to make sure that the department is providing our parents with the services that are either court ordered or our parents need to get the children back in the home. And then again, towards the end of the case, our representation will shift a little